Hey gamers, welcome back to the channel. Today in DC Dark Legion, we're going to talk about the latest update specifically around intel points. They have changed so much, it is going to change how you play the game. So what's the best way to use your intel points? It's like energy in the game now. What's the best use of energy? I've got everything that you need to know in this video, so let's get into it. All right, and welcome back. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Like I was saying, Intel has changed so much, it's going to change how you play the game. Previously, we would go into Sun, we'd go down here to ACN, and this is where we would farm different resources to strengthen our characters, our base, our overall account. But now there's other ways to spend your Intel, which is going to make you want to think about the best use of Intel, and how would you prioritize that? So let's just go ahead, let's take a look at the notes here really quick. Jump into my mail. Go into the maintenance. I'm going to focus on these two right here. Defeat the Dark Legion and intel points. So, defeat the Dark Legion now costs intel, whereas before it didn't. So, they've adjusted the enemy unlocking, the coordinated assault cost. The daily initiation limit for coordinated assaults has been removed. So, before we could only do 5. Now it seems to be unlimited. Initiating coordinated assaults and defeating the Dark Legion now grants improved rewards, so experience, chips, dollars, other resources, things like that that we would typically get from ACN. They've bumped up those rewards here. Overall, the intent of this update is to allow for more resource acquisition so that you can build up your base, you can build up your roster just to strengthen your account a little bit quicker, it seems. Participation rules, so this is cool. So, oh wait, hold on. Your coordinated assaults take 40 intel points. That is a lot of points. Participation rules. This is just you joining somebody else's. You can join up to 40 a day. They do not cost intel points. So, that helps you with some prioritization there. So, intel points down here. Also, your crisis tasks now cost intel points. So, completing a crisis task now costs 5 intel points. Joining somebody else's costs 2 intel points. And then points are refunded if the task fails or is canceled. Same with the coordinated assault. The highest tier activity chest now grants an extra 80 intel when you reach 100 activity per day. So what does that mean? That means these intel points, I'm going to go out of here. Let me just jump into here. So there's no max here anymore, right? I can join. It's going to tell me how many intel points. Actually, it says 0. If I go ahead and I initiate my own, it tells me 40 right here. If I go out and I go into here, I don't have anything here. I've cleared it out, but it's 5 for initiating my own task and 2 intel points for joining and helping somebody else finish up their task here. So with that, what's the best use of your intel points? Well, Mandy X put a pretty good prioritization list out, so I tested it, and I think I agree with it 100%. First, you're going to want to join rallies. First and foremost, it does not take points, intel points, to join these rallies. So go in there, join up to 40 a day, because that's the maximum amount of rallies that you could join per day and get resources. So always jump into here, see if there's any for you to join. That's going to be priority number 1, joining other people's rallies. Next is going to be your crisis tasks. These right here. Remember, 5 intel points to clear your own, 2 intel points to help your teammates. Then once this is all cleared, just take a look at how long it takes until your refreshes. I think I'm going to hold off on my intel. I'm going to save it until this completely refreshes. Then I'll clear this again. And then if you have intel points after that, then go ahead and launch your own rallies here. Again, this is 40. It takes a lot of intel. So if you've got some, go ahead and use it until you want to stop and save for the next refresh on your crisis tasks. Let me go ahead and jump out of here. After that, if you've got anything else to spend, maybe you're a spender, right? And you're buying, and you've got the legacy pass and you're getting the extra intel through there. Then if you want, I would then suggest going through your ACN. Your ACN is going to be your final destination for intel points. Everything else should come first. Again, join rallies. Join as many rallies as you can, up to 40 per day to get all the resources there. Then clear your crisis tasks, and then go and initiate your own rallies if you still have some intel points. That is my suggestion. I want to thank Mandy X for putting that up there. It was a very good suggestion. It makes a lot of sense to me. I'm very curious on your thoughts. What do you think about this update and this change? This, again, it fundamentally changes how you play part of this game now. Now that we have to prioritize which game modes that we want to play. Very interesting. So let me know your thoughts. Good, bad, indifferent. I think overall, the amount of resources that we're getting have increased. I think there might be a slight decrease in league contribution points, though, something to keep an eye on there. But overall, it's supposed to help us get more resources for building up our roster, strengthening up our teams. So let me know what you think. All right, everybody, that is what I had for you. As always, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch the video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Take care, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time.